Greetings and salutations, my dear audience. This is Joe St. Egg Benedictus, just coming at you as we take a trip down memory lane to do something different and review a Bible with which I am very familiar. But first, I want to give a shout out to my pal Mike, to all the visionaries and mystics out there. Thank you for joining me. Let's jump right in. This is a... I gotta turn my light because it's all glary. Hold on. Okay. This Bible is for me one that helps me take a trip down memory lane. Let me see, need more light. There we go, much better. Trip down memory lane, because this Bible is the Bible that I grew up with, the first Bible that I remember owning, and a Bible that is very near and dear to my heart. And I'll tell you several reasons why in a few minutes. But as we jump into it, some backstory on this particular Bible, if you will. As I mentioned, this is the Bible that the first Bible I remember owning. This is not that actual Bible. For the last year, I've been looking for this Bible. Looked at my bookshelves, looked in all my cabinets. About a month ago, I was in my attic organizing all the boxes, and I looked in every box trying to find this Bible. And so far I can't find it. So I think my mother has it. But ever since that point, about 2 months ago, I started looking for this in Goodwills and thrift shops. This is a very common Bible, actually. You can find this in many places, even in churches. And for some reason, I couldn't find it. But then one day, one of my church members came in, gave me a box of Bibles and said, "Hey, this is from my family. And you give it to the kids, teenagers," and there were several teen study Bibles. I took out the Bibles, and this was a part of it. I was so happy to reclaim this Bible again because I had been looking for it, and I wanted it. Again, it means so much to me. So let's go through it, shall we? Holy Bible, New International Version by Zondervan, as you can see. The hardcover in this nice 1980s color. And the first thing that catches your eyes, the first thing that caught my eye when I begged my mother to buy it was this beautiful picture of Jesus and the Lamb and the two children here. Look at that kid having fun. Don't you want to be that kid next to Jesus having fun, laughing at a lamb? And I thought, this is an amazing picture. So as we go through this Bible to show you some great features and some of the things that have been meaningful to my life, I'm going to pull out our privacy banana. As you can see, he's sleeping today. He's going to give us a hand. And I'm going to put Privacy Banana over the name, since this is a Bible personalized for one of my church members, so as to be respectful. I'm going to cover some things up here. There we go. Come on, Privacy Banana, get to work, will you? There we go. All right. So let's jump right in it, shall we? First of all, you'll see that there's a paper liner. One of the things about this Bible is it's made very well. As I mentioned, you can find it almost anywhere, which shows its staying power and its craftsmanship. This particular Bible was gifted in September of 1998, but I remember owning this Bible years before that. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but as you can see, beautiful picture of David with his little sheep on the inside. I assume that's David, or some shepherd boy. Church record, family record, lambs, palms, and the like. And then you have this beautiful outline from creation, several events. Now, when I was young, I didn't understand the Bible very much. We went to church, went to Sunday school. I learned the basic stories, but I never read the Bible. And I didn't grow up in a household that read the Bible. My household wasn't a Bible reading household, if you will. It was a good, strong Christian family, but we never really saw my parents read the Bible. So I never really understood the Bible. So these pictures were very meaningful at a formative age in my life to teach me the story about the Bible. You have this beautiful picture of creation, this old dude with this young dude, Moses with the burning bush, I knew that much, a bunch of dudes tooting their horns around these walls, this picture of Samson. Every time I read the Samson story, this is the picture I think of, just this strong guy kind of knocking over the columns, and then the rest. So when I looked at these pictures, this is really the formative, as I mentioned, the formative time of my faith, that really helped me connect with really a different world. We have the Christmas story, some zombie coming out of the thing. Again, I wasn't really smart enough to know that was Lazarus. And of course, the story of the cross. The cross and Jesus became so important to me, not only because of these wonderful pictures of Jesus, but I had a cross, a glow-in-the-dark cross in my room, and I had a statue of Jesus that my daughter now has ever since I can remember, being cognizant of what it means to be me. So we get to the New International Version of the Holy Bible, and you have a nice presentation page here with the old symbol, and then the copyright page. Now here's something interesting. This is obviously the 1984 edition of the NIV, but it says that this particular children's Bible and the Worship Bible was copyrighted in 1988. For some reason, and this is a mystery to me, I remembered receiving this Bible earlier than 1988. If you were to ask me, St. Joe, when did you get this Bible? I would have guessed about between 85 and 86. And I would have been in New York at that time. But for some reason, if this was copyrighted in 1988, that means I had moved to Florida already, and that we purchased this Bible in the First Baptist Church that we were attending at that time. So I'm not sure whether this was in the second half of my childhood or earlier than that, if this is a revised edition or an updated edition. I'm assuming it's not, because it doesn't say second edition or anything. But I remember having this as long as I can remember Bibles. And again, I didn't read it, but I spent so much time looking through the pages and looking at all of the pictures. And that's what I did. I knew this book was holy. I knew it was special. I believed I had a relationship with Jesus up until even before I made the decision a faith decision to come to Christ at age 12. I had always believed in my heart that I had a relationship with Jesus. And this Bible really walked with me through that. Again, not for its words and not for the script per se, but because of the pictures. You'll see we have double column, paragraph form with these great headings. You have the page numbers on the inside, and the words go in the gutter a little bit, but again, that didn't make much of a difference to me when I was small. You have the footnotes down at the bottom. All right, so let's get to the pictures. All right, you have pictures like this here. Creation, beautiful colors, peacock and zebras. When I was growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. We didn't travel a lot. Because we didn't travel a lot, I never really saw exotic places or exotic animals. We may have went to the Staten Island Zoo, a couple times, but the Staten Island Zoo wasn't, great. It was good, but it wasn't like fantastic. And so this was the world in which I entered: books and various reading various books and picture books, and that was really how I connected to the larger world around me. Because growing up in New York, blue collar family, you don't travel much. Usually, you travel with family to go camping, in New Jersey or something, or Jersey Shore. We would go to Florida, once. I remember going to Florida twice in the 80s in my life. Once to visit in the early 80s for my uncle's wedding, and then like a second time when I was older. But even that, we were on a tight budget, staying in, really questionable hotels. And so when I looked at these pictures, I connected to a larger world, a multicultural world, a biblical world, that really, in which I really didn't have a context, but really gained some understanding through these beautiful pictures. And some of these pictures I remember very vividly, like this of Moses and the Ten Commandments, this dark and brooding picture that I connected to the movie with Charlton Heston that I used to watch or catch a few minutes of every Easter. And then another picture that made an impression on me is, let's see, I think there's one in Daniel's in the Lion's Den. This is a beautiful picture of Elijah being taken up to heaven. More animals, just a lot of good animals and pictures. But let me show you some other formative pictures. There's Daniel in the Lion's Den. That one I remember very specifically of being in a place of danger. But here he's at peace. And then here you have, of course, danger and I was afraid of water, so this always kind of horrified me in some way. It's Jonah and the great fish, you'll notice. It's not the whale. Nevertheless, you get to pictures like this, though, with Jesus and the children, just allowing him to appear accessible and someone that I wanted to be with. Someone who not only welcomed me but invited me to become a part of his family, and that's really what resonated with me in this Bible. To read it, just to look through the pictures when I was at church, but it has some great Bible helps. It has tables, weights, and measures. It has study helps, which tells of the great Bible stories and references as a way to find your bearings. And then something else I think benefits children, a Bible dictionary. A wonderful Bible dictionary that's easy to read, nice and bold and clear. It gives you the definitions of all kinds of hard words like nard and justification and imperishable or indignation. So really great asset and just really good study tools for children. You have these wonderful Tyndale maps that many of you are familiar with. Nice and colorful 80s maps. And one of the things that really caught my eye is this is not a sticker. So this was actually published on here. There's the ISBN number. But the price is $17.99, which now I understand why my mother really did give me a hard time when I wanted this Bible. I had like a little kid's Bible, I think. And when I told her I really wanted this Bible, I promised her I would read it. And please, please, please get it for me. She really waffled back and forth. And I can tell now that it would have been a hardship for my family. $17.99 was a lot of money for the mid-'80s. Again, for a blue-collar kid from Staten Island. Or even moving, just having moved to Florida, in which my dad had to get his business off the ground at that time. We didn't have a lot of money when we moved to Florida. There was a lot of hot dogs, macaroni and cheese, and eggs and potatoes, and macaroni. I don't even think my mom can get macaroni in Homestead, Florida. So, we kind of scrimped by, and for her to spring $17.99 was a real risk. But I thank her for it. I thank my parents for investing just a little money to get what I wanted and something that I found meaningful throughout my whole life. And that really, I think, shaped a primitive part of my upbringing and adolescence that really allowed me to carry with me these images really into reading the Bible today, where when I picture the stories of the Bible, try to picture it in color, and more than Technicolor, but in a way that really brings the Bible to life and make it meaningful. This particular Bible is in great shape. It doesn't look like it had been used much. There's some banged up corners here, but that's typical of these specific Bibles. A few dog-eared pages here, but none worse for wear, and just a really fantastic Bible. Thank you for traveling with me down memory lane. Hit those buttons down there, like, subscribe, hit those bells or whatever, and comment below. And just let's walk together on growing in a deep relationship with Christ through the Word and through other oddities and books, Bibles, baseball, and all kinds of fun stuff. Thanks for joining me.